What's up, YouTube? Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I just want to do a quick balancing tutorial on the Steadicam. Now, this tutorial can be used for pretty much any Steadicam, but the one I'm going to be using is going to be the Thanos Pro Cine in this case. For starters, as you can see, we do have the Steadicam. It's currently set all the way up. So one of the main things you want to do with a Steadicam is set it all the way up. That means you want to put your mat box on, put your battery on, put your monitor on if you're going to use one. All the cables, put everything in place to where it's exactly how it would be if you were getting ready to fly it. As you can see on my Steadicam, I have it on a plate right here. So ideally what you want to do is balance it on the plate, meaning you want the plate to basically kind of sit at the midpoint on the Steadicam. So essentially, it's a couple different ways you can do this. You can place a pencil under here, anything that can roll, or you can kind of guesstimate it. Now on my Steadicam, I do have a quick release plate added right here just to make it a little bit easier for me to get it in and off the tripod. Most Steadicams are not going to have this. Do I recommend it? It kind of depends on the person. For me, it's been working pretty good. Aside from this on the Steadicam, you can see I have the tilt to mat box. I have the Focus Pro, and I'm using this monitor right now. Now on my other setups, I've done it without the monitor, but in this case, I wanted to go ahead and use a monitor on here to fly it. Aside from that, I have another monitor down there. I have my SDI cable wrapped around the sled. Then I also have a V-mount battery. I'm going to take the Steadicam off of this part and I'm going to put it on the other side of the rail. Pretty much you want to put it on the other side, not necessarily the rail, but I forget what this thing is called, but this is where you balance it at. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to lift it up. You know what? 1 second, do not try this at home. I forgot to get one part. 1000% when doing this, you want to get a sandbag or something to hold the C-stand down. Trust me, you definitely don't want to mess with that Steadicam and then you have it flipping over all because you didn't get anything to hold the C-stand down. So number one with the Steadicam, the first thing to do is you want to get this rough balance. So what I pretty much notice is you want the camera midpoint to sit at the middle of the sled. You want to try to get as close to this as possible. Now, keep in mind, some Steadicams come with like a bubble level and different things like that. This one doesn't have it. So essentially having a bubble level basically allows you to balance it a little bit quicker. So let's just do a quick test. 1, 2, 3. Now this is a pretty good drop time. Generally, you want to get it between about anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds. It really depends on like the different moves you're going to be doing. So if you're doing something that requires like a quicker turn, sometimes you want it to be a little bit quicker. All of this matters. So you want to definitely put your monitor where the monitor is going to be. Put it wherever you're going to be, meaning when you have it put on, put it where you want the monitor to be. So for some people, you might want to slide it out. For some people, you might want to pull it forward. Also works the same with the battery, but don't worry about the battery just yet. Now you just want to basically do a rough balance. So essentially what you're doing is you want to make sure the sled sits straight. So in order to achieve this, you want to slide the camera. So most Steadicams are going to have knobs, which are designed to allow you to get it precise. So before you even touch those knobs, you want to get it as close to, you want to get it as close to center without having to touch those knobs. In this case, I have already twisted them a bit. So what we're going to do is once you have your Steadicam is sitting, it's sitting straight, meaning it looks like it's balanced already, right? You're basically getting a rough balance. So this is static balance. You want it to sit straight, not wobble, not lean side to side. And these knobs are designed to help you do that. But before you even touch them, you want to try to get it as close to possible. You want to get it as close to being balanced as possible before you touch them. Once you do that, you should get something like this. Your Steadicam is going to be sitting. You see this one is pretty much balanced. So here's the thing that I noticed that pretty much trips up people. Keep in mind, you've already done like a drop test on it. So you want to try to get as close as possible. Once you got the drop time where you want it to be, now you want to do the spin test. This is what's going to tell you if the dynamic balance is on point. The dynamic balance basically means it's fully balanced 100%. So when you're moving it, it's going to float. Now you have to spin it. 1, 2. You give it a spin. So when it spins, it should be straight and it shouldn't wobble. So it has like a slight wobble to it. So this is how you fix that. Pretty much just go all the way down to the bottom. You're spinning it. You'll notice it might wobble front or it might wobble backwards just a little bit. You can see it wobbling, right? So in this case, all you got to do to fix it is basically you go down here. You can pretty much probably move maybe the heaviest part of the Steadicam. So for a lot of people, it's probably going to be the V-mount. Some people might want to move the monitor, but if you like where the monitor is, if you like where your monitor is, you want to just touch the battery. So what I'm going to do first to test it out I'm just gonna slide it a little bit forward. Now, when you slide it a little bit, no, you gotta move it at the top as well to basically rebalance it. Keep in mind, normally I would have a bubble level here, but I just forgot to bring it, so I'm just gonna run it like this. All right, so now what you wanna do is basically spin it again. And you see it still got a little slight twirl. So what I'm gonna do now is, instead of going forward, I'm just gonna push it back a little bit. All right, let's spin it again. Do another spin test. Okay. As you can see, now it's spinning. So this is the part where it gets confusing that a lot of people aren't really breaking down. When the Steadicam's not properly balanced, move one piece of it. Either go back or go forward. Just do it a little bit at a time. And if you do that, you'll be able to balance it kind of like this. Pretty much you can spin it and it's gonna stay still like that. Now I could also tweak it just a little bit. You see, it got a slight lean. I could tweak it, but you can fly it just like this and it'll pretty much work fine. It's pretty much up to preference. So like I said, essentially you just want to do it a little bit at a time. Spin it again. Now mind you, this is after months of being in Steadicam groups, all type of stuff, kind of just seeing, and different people got different stuff that works for them, but essentially a little bit at a time. You want to get it as steady as possible, and that's going to pretty much get the job done. Essentially, whatever you're going to be flying, you want to put it all on the camera. You want it all on there, and then you want to get to balancing it. So just remember these steps. Remember these steps. This is what you got to do. Let me stop it from spinning. And like I said, I can actually balance it slightly more, but you can pretty much run it like this. It's up to you. The way I like to do it is you want to simplify. When you simplify things, it's a lot easier to understand. It's a lot easier to get it done. So put it like this. This is how you do it. Place the camera on the plate. You want to center the camera on the plate, right? Once you have it centered, put the camera on the sled. You want to try to have it centered on here. So this camera has V-mount. It has matte box. It has a lot of stuff going on, so it's a bit heavier. You want to center it. Remember, you want to center it before you even touch the knobs. You want to just get it as close to the center as possible. The next thing you want to do, put your monitor wherever you want your monitor to be. Now on mine, I have a monitor at the top, I have a monitor at the bottom. The reason it's like that is because this monitor is also an SDI converter. Sometimes I like having a monitor in both, but it's completely up to you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. As long as it's balanced, it's going to work fine. The next thing you want to do is, sometimes you can extend the sled, right? So it just kind of depends. This is the times when you would have to extend it. So ideally, you want this to be, this is what's considered to be your post. This is what you hold on to. This is what connects to the vest. You want this to be closer to the top because it's easier to control. So in some cases, you may have to extend this a little bit lower in order to get that. In this case, I have it extended just a little bit. Like I said a couple minutes ago, you pull that V-mount back and forward based on how it's spinning at the top. That's all you got to do is just adjust that. But you do have to have it statically balanced, which you can do. It's a lot easier to do the static balance. Like I say, normally I would have bubble levels up here. So I'll put a bubble level. I'll pretty much put a bubble level here, put a bubble level here, or I'll put it there. And once it's balanced and you also have a drop time that you like, that's when you can go ahead and move to achieving the static balance. Dynamic balance. That's when you can go ahead and move towards achieving dynamic balance. Once you're ready to achieve dynamic balance, you're pretty much just sliding the battery back, either back or forward a little bit at a time, and then using these knobs to adjust the camera. If your Steadicam does not have knobs, you'll be sliding the whole plate. Look, I just took out this ND filter. So when you take out filters and stuff like that out of the camera, you got to readjust it. But as you can see, it's still spinning just as fine as it should be. So now I just want to do a quick test, just showing you how it flies when it's fully balanced. Essentially, you want to hook it up like this, disconnect this, and then boom, right? Run it like this. So when you have it balanced, you can basically move it freely. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video to show you how to balance the Steadicam. Now keep in mind, the Steadicam takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of getting used to. As I've said before, your core has to be strong. When you put this thing on, you feel it in your lower back. So hit that gym and work out. Other than that, stay tuned. Y'all have a great day. More videos coming soon, and a movie coming soon. Like, the whole reason I bought this was for my independent film, so stay tuned.